Hello everybody, this is Alpha, here with another video for you today. This is basically a comparison of some old and some new mods. We'll start with the old. This was my first rebarrel, a Firestrike, as you can tell by the plunder tube. It used part of a tri-strike in there to hold in a steel pipe, which has been hammered in a bit so as to not let the dart through the back. It is, let's say, ineffective. It essentially held darts in using that ridge, and that was not good, but it still gave me a lot more power than you would get from your standard elite barrel. It did hold the darts in well, and it worked, and it was completely DIY. Sawed that off with a just a hacksaw, and it always sent darts to the left, though, thanks to that groove. And that was quite annoying when actually trying to hit anything. Of course, not always trying to... At that point, I wasn't exactly playing games. I was mostly just messing around, seeing what I could do with it. The epoxy is still holding up just fine. This could technically be put back into a Firestrike at any time and still be fine, but as far as I'm concerned, this is remaining retired. But it's still important to me that I've kept it for basically to show where I began in my nerfing hobby. Alright, so get that out of the way. This is the latest edition. If you're wondering what that arrow is, that is essentially saying where to line up the breach. The breach is made out of brass this time, which is a lot better in more or less every way. This thing fires straight, fires, well, not hard, but it's a sidearm. It's not meant to fire the hardest. It's meant to keep you alive when you need that last-ditch shot. It is using 17/32 brass as the main barrel. If I could do it again, I'd make this a little shorter. I was trying to make sure I could fit the worker darts in nice and easily, which it does, so that's good. But once again, it would make it slightly shorter. The front brass is made of 9/16. For those of you that don't know, brass sleeves over, creating an airtight seal. This is a lot straighter. There's no ridges inside of it, as you can see. Also, there is, so the 9/16 brass does overlap a bit at the end, which is good. It does, I found, tend to add a little bit of accuracy, at least in my case. This time, there is no extra parts holding it in. It's just the original part. I filled it in with epoxy by dripping epoxy in before we put the barrel in, and then leaving it upside down to dry so it can seep in and get in all the holes and create a nice sturdy, well, fill in, I guess. The aluminium barrel was part of a flywheel kit, but it fit just over the 9/16 with a single wrap of electrical tape, and it is snug and it hasn't come off and it hasn't even moved, and it won't anytime soon, which is great. It's all held in with epoxy, and I am getting good results out of it, especially compared to this one. I don't have the spring set up for this anymore. It wasn't good. It was a double sprung setup, but they were too close a diameter and coil size, so it sometimes would get bound up in each other and not allowed to catch, which was a bit of a pain. But I learned a lot from that. I learned that double springing needs to be done a certain way, and that I should definitely just use a stronger spring. A single spring is usually better, unless you can find the correct diameters. This current one is using a 7.5 kilo spring, which is good. It's hitting hard enough for the low FPS wars, and it works quite well. I'm really proud of it, and I just wanted to show you guys the progression from, well, DIY, essentially nothing in comparison, and then nice shiny brass and aluminium. I still did all this myself, but doesn't feel as DIY as going to the hardware store and picking up a steel pipe to use. Alright, thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I shall see you all next time.